everyone, and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run, Ryan.
Right.
And here's the thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas were taking more serious.
What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome, fellas, and welcome to All In, All United. I think this is the first time I see other fellas so regular. I feel like I see them more than my own children the last couple of days. Aye. How we doing, fellas? How we doing? I mean, we're here to look back at a pretty good result, in the Carabao Cup, and knowing how football does work. 9 times out of 10, when you fire a manager, it is give the players that they are kind of bounce, right? So we just call it the new manager bounce, and they just go on to perform. It is almost give you the feeling as though the manager was the main problem. He was the only problem because, hey, look, we're playing football now, and look, we're scoring goals and we're winning games. But I think as a fan base, who on this podcast for, quite some time, we've been, since this podcast going on, how much managers we see? We see Oli, Ragnick, and now Ten Hag. And even before that, we would have seen the same thing with managers going before Mourinho and so forth. So we know, and Van Gaal. So we I think we're smarter than just believing, that what we saw today was, kind of evident that, hey, it was Ten Hag was so oppressive and now the players free and we seeing, proper football and these fellas unleashed. Now I don't know if others see the same way, but I'm not fooled. Anyway, what we saying? Rude awakening, Simeon, and Chef.
Definitely not fooled by anything. Just taking it one game at a time.
Nah, man, I'm almost insulted, man. Like, I'm glad we win. It's good, important we win to have, move on in the cup. More games, more money for the club. But it don't smell right. I ain't gonna say that, fellas. After what they do, against West Ham, I couldn't really follow the game closely because I was at work. So I was following the commentary. It was going happy, going crazy. Hey, all this play and that one was nice. And I see you score 4-2, and I say then fellas score 4 goals in one half. I mean, I know it's Leicester. I know Leicester, they beat team or whatever, but still, the fellas actually hit the net 4 times in a half when they could hit the empty net, But like I said, I mean, but we gotta wait and see. But I felt kind of insulted, in a way, by this performance. But go ahead.
But Phil, to you, with Simeon making that admission, right? And from where you see today, does it convince you in any way, of Chef, if you want to jump in as well, that player power and players down in tools is a factor in this situation and scenario with Ten Hag being sacked and the kind of performance we saw today? Or is it that Leicester was just real crap and
Leicester was just real trash. You go ahead now, Phil. I'll talk after.
No, all you say is the same score that we saw today should have been the same score versus West Ham. Think about it. We took our chances today. We didn't take our chances versus West Ham. But I don't think anybody's fooled. Well, there may be some fans out there that may think that this is Manchester United turning around, but we're big hard back men that have seen the whole Manchester United loop. Let's call it that way.
Yeah.
You know, manager gets fired, team starts to play well. Okay, it all happened when Ralph Ragnick. Actually, let me go back further. It all happened when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was hired, and I think we beat the same Leicester 5-2 as well when Martial scored with Jesse Lingard.
It was Leicester.
It was Leicester as well. It was a team in blue. It wasn't Chelsea. It wasn't Chelsea for sure.
No, I think it was Cardiff. That was Cardiff.
Possibly Cardiff. Yeah, okay,
Cardiff.
fair enough. So yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get hired. Martial score, Jesse Lingard score, 5-2 against Cardiff. Lo and behold, fast forward, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets fired. Ralph Ragnick comes in. We play a great 30 minutes versus Crystal Palace, and nothing after that. Hey, fast forward, we have seen this Netflix series already.
Yep.
We know what to expect. Did we celebrate? Did some of us celebrate the goals today, or did all of us celebrate the goals today? Sure.
Nope.
Well, if we did celebrate the goal, that's fair enough, and I get why, but I'm not gonna lie. Just not going on a tangent, but I mean, that Casemiro rocket though, Jesus
That's
Christ,
a nice goal.
Jesus Christ.
That's a nice goal.
I know the best part, even the Casemiro's second goal, because you're about to assist himself by hitting the post twice, and it falls just right back to his feet again. It's almost like a game of Spaceball Cadet, right? But yeah, man. Like I just mentioned a couple seconds ago, we're watching a rerun of a Netflix series where, manager gets fired, new manager comes in, players try to impress the manager, everybody gets hyped, and then fast forward 6 months from now, maybe a year, who knows, right? All of a sudden, the common denominator, the players, are all of a sudden, they don't like the training regime of the new manager. And then, fast forward 2 years, a certain manager is sacked, right? Am I getting hyped? No, I'm not. I am a little bit excited because another Manchester United legend in Ruud van Nistelrooy has taken over and the crowd welcomed him. So that was good.
Yep.
But we know these players. We have been on this podcast for many times. I probably started this podcast with Reem, it would start with Reem, but I came on this podcast as a guest probably during the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer times. And we've seen how these players turn on managers. So I am not being fooled, and I can probably speak for the entire panel, Reem. We are not being fooled by these players, okay? Are we excited that we won 5-2 today? Hell yeah. But that was only one game. Only one game.
Against that shit team.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to like and share the podcast, right? Aaron Jones on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. He's seen his whole chef rock back like Terrence.
Jesus, Lord.
Difference is I in my place. So nobody can pull me out.
No, I mean, getting back to the football, and Philly make some good points there. Make some real good points. And it almost, begs to wonder, like where all this come from. We were clinical today. I thought we played better today than we played against West Ham, and West Ham is probably one of the poorest teams in the league, right? I sitting and I watched the game, and you all know me talking to me for the length of time that we've been doing these pods. That I just look beyond the goals. I just look at performance and all these kind of things. And I don't want to say I was impressed, but I was at the place where we play good. You understand what I'm saying? We play good. So where this was all the time, where this was, I'm not gonna get carried away. Because as Phil say, we know this bunch, right? And from the time you start to put pressure on them to do things that they're uncomfortable with is when they start to adjust back. And, you know, and you as the manager now in the hot seat, you'll be answering a set of questions. But the team played well today. And I'm asking myself, is it that these fellas are really down tools? I know it could be harsh to come out and get a blanket. Yes, answer to that question. But I don't have no other explanation for how we could be so decent today, but so poor for the last couple of weeks. You know?
I will say, just like you, Reem, and we were talking. I did watch more than just the goals. Or I tried to, dive deep and watch every little thing. Like I told Reem, the first half, what is funny, the first half, we scored those 4 goals, but I was not impressed at all in the first half. I find the football was not fluid at all. I find it seemed at times like we were still struggling, but what we were very clinical. When we get with chances, we make sure and put away. Second half, and this is, we talk about this all the time. When you put the energy and thing you put on a team and you pound them with goals, now they had to exert even more to get back into the game. And by the second half, now we were measured control. I had to say, I had to have to give shout out to Ugarte, Casemiro, and Bruno. It was the most composed engine room I have seen probably for the season. I might be exaggerating, but to me, in that second half, them fellas control that game. And even when the substitutions came on, there was no drop off. The team was composed. So the first half, I was not impressed, and I just find bad leaders just concede some real kind of whole goals, boy.
We're still doing that.
Kind of goals we just.
We're still doing that. We're still
yes, boy. That and them kind of things against a better side, you're giving side vibes to come back on you. Is when we hit them that 5th goal. That is when there was like, all right, that is that that we can't make. So again, like everybody, one general consensus, and not getting caught up at all. I don't really buy into conspiracies like everybody else. But I will be watching closely the football in the next few games to see where we go. Personally, for me, the highlight was watching Van Nistelrooy on the touchline, looking sharp as in he black. He's always been one of my favorite players. I always find him to be a very bright guy. So it was, and he's a Manchester legend in the truest way. So it really was nice to see him there, to see him celebrate. That was, for me, was the best part of the game. Watching him truly enjoy the finishing, especially from the first goal go down. But yeah.
Ethan Lynch on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. He's saying, "Oh, look, can't tell me them players in wicked and bad." Yeah, well, that's why we're trying to get to the bottom of it, because it's making sense. It's making sense. But Van Nistelrooy first team selection. Now I know a lot of people would have been talking about, the omissions of Ahmad and stuff like that. But also even with Ten Hag 11s, we would always talk about the imbalance in the selections. What are the thoughts about the starting lineup today? Comments, who surprise inclusions, surprise exclusions from the starting 11, Phil?
Boy, I think what I read was that it was supposed to be a 4-4-2, and obviously you told me that Bruno will be up top, right? Um, I was trying to figure out what. I mean, it would have been a 4-4-2, but at the end of the day, it would have gone back to being a 4-2-3-1, like I told you, right? Um, Giving Xerxes a chance, it seemed it's almost like Rude was showing a bit of bias, a Dutch player, right? So I kind of guessed that, but from what I saw, Xerxes wasn't bad. He if it's possible to just play Xerxes as maybe a 10 and play Hoyland as the main striker, I want to see that in a couple of games, just for the sake of it, right? There's I don't want to give up on Xerxes as yet. I know as far back like Chef is with like the white cars comparison, right? I don't want to give up on Xerxes as yet. If we could play Xerxes as a 10 and Hoyland as a number 9, I definitely want to go that route, right? But as a Carabao Cup, why Harry Amas can't get in a play? Was he even on the bench today? I can't
No,
remember. He wasn't on the
no,
bench.
no.
Oh, okay. It
Who?
was
Who? Harry Amos?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was on the bench.
Amas was on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should
You
double check
sure?
it. I really did not.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
If okay,
He
so
was.
just in case Harry Amas was on the bench, I gotta ask why the guy ain't getting no play. I mean, I could kind of understand, it's Rude's first game and he want to play it safe, right? So I guess playing a more established footballer and what's his face? Well, who was at left back then? The law for Martinez. Martinez, right? Martinez was at left back. Playing Martinez at left back, I guess, is a safer bet, right? But at
Yeah,
some
Amos was
point,
on the bench. He was on the bench.
He was on the bench. Okay, I missed that.
at some point, you got to, in order for you to see how good a player can be, you got to give him play.
Give him playing time.
Yeah. I also was I don't use the word impressed, but I was like, okay, fair enough. Seeing Bayandir start was good, and Bayandir spreading the ball was a sight to behold. I mean, I'm not saying I'm tired of Onana and bars, but Jesus Christ, give Bayandir some playing time, no?
And yeah.
Give him some playing time, bruv.
And they little crazy to have, but
A little bit, yeah. I guess I can see what you say why, but a little bit, yeah. And yeah, I mean, Casemiro definitely man of the match for me, and
Yep,
it was well deserved, right?
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll
Simeon,
stop there.
Simeon, what about you?
I mean, the main thing, well, Lindelof getting a start was kind of not really head scratching, but interesting. Um, I like the midfield. I thought having Casemiro and Ugarte was, you know, a good balance, like a good balance for the midfield. I think something that we don't really play enough. And I think Casemiro with more freedom definitely plays a lot better. So that was encouraging. I mean, like Phil said, man, Casemiro showing his class. I mean, as we all saw his legs were going, but you always saw him popping up. Score a goal here and there, at least being threatening. The man could still play. It's just but it was good to see him there. I was still kind of questioning him playing Rashford on the right. That was something I thought he would. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, he's not gonna ruffle in his 1 or 2 games. He's not gonna ruffle too many feathers by taking Ahmad or Garnacho off. So he just probably put him on the wings just to avoid that issue. Xerxes, I could see it. I mean, it's a Dutch connection, but also he could use rotation. I mean, Rasmus gonna get his playing time. I ain't worried about Rasmus. Um, who else, boy? Yeah, I mean, I think the Lit is a good player. He just need to be more consistent in his play. But it wasn't a bad, and given, the more after the game start, that they talk about how bad the Leicester team was, and but we've been pretty bad too, so we couldn't name a young side, but a pretty decent team he picked out there. So I wasn't too upset about it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, for me, it had to be the shock of the day had to be Bayern there. I don't think anybody saw Bayern there coming in this team, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah. Because even I think on the socials, they had Onana jersey in all the promo pics for the game. You
true,
understand what I'm
true.
saying? So to see Bayern there against Satan Onana was completely left out today. Well, I'm gonna put it like this: Onana was given the night off, right? Kind of want to make it look as though it had
Yeah,
nothing,
yeah. He
you
was given
know.
the night off.
Yeah, but I mean, I find that was the shocker because under Ten Hag, Onana or boss, So it was good. So we could safely say Bayern they play more games this season already than he played whole Man United career, right? Um, Also, I was expecting that and it's something I was asking for quite some time. The Casemiro Ugarte midfield setup. The team has been very, very open. We've been played through the middle of the park so too easily. And what I was looking at too, right? We talk about, I think you just made mention. We was talking about Casemiro legs being gone and so forth and wherever and wherever. But when Casemiro on the ball, he's still offering something that I don't think nobody in the team given us. And it's that box presence coming late in the box.
Mhm.
And imagine a defensive midfielder, right? Or find that kind of killer movement and killer instinct in the box more than plenty of our attacking players. You understand? And that, for me, it's alarming. And this Casemiro we saw today is who we saw plenty of in the first season under Ten Hag because
Yeah,
Casemiro was allowed to get into the box and
yeah.
Casemiro scored plenty goals like that. So you put legs next to Casemiro,
Correct.
put legs next to Casemiro and allow Casemiro that kind of freedom to go up and come back. And it will benefit us. So I
Mhm.
think we may have, even though I was saying it's something I would like to see, I think we may have stumbled on something that we could look at utilizing a little more frequent going forward. I know we still have the likes of Kobe Mino to come back. I know we have Ericsson, who has been our most informed midfielder, to come back. But
Well, I gotta ask a question then.
mhm,
What everybody fit? Who is our ideal three midfielders then that you will start?
boy, if I telling you right now, I think what we saw today could possibly be, and it's only based on function, not based on individual player quality, but based
Mhm.
on function, right? I think the three that played today,
Because Erickson ain't put a foot wrong this season as yet.
no, he hasn't. He hasn't. But you saw Ugarte performance today,
Yeah.
and Casemiro's man
It
of the
was it
match.
was it was his best. It was by far got his best performance in a Manchester jersey.
Yeah,
And you know what it was? What personally for me, he just did his job.
yeah,
No flashing. I don't know about you all, but for me, that is the kind of personality then I want for my DM. You do your job, you're just below the radar. You do your job, you break up plays, you're able to make a forward putting, you're able to slow down the play, your defensive stop, and you're able to help in the attack. I was very impressed with you guys today. So I,
But
I get what you could say about even though we are big Mino fans, I think Mino need a little catch back himself time right now. Getting injured right now probably wasn't the worst thing for him. That youngster probably needed a little rest. But to your question, I think so too. The three who played today, when they're playing like that, I don't mind. But anytime they're playing mad, like how they are playing, Then Ericsson, I put in Ericsson in front of Bruno Fernandes.
Another is so we can probably count on one hand how disciplined our midfield was in the last probably 6 months.
Yeah,
Before today,
yeah,
honestly, the last time our midfield was so disciplined was the FA Cup final.
probably,
Yeah,
probably.
Amrabat, Manu, Bruno.
Yeah,
But just to go back to what Chef said with regards to defensive midfielders doing just their job, right? One of my favorite defensive midfielders of all time is Gennaro Gattuso when he was at AC Milan,
boss.
right? The man just did the simple stuff. Win the ball from you, give it to Pirlo. Pirlo spreads it to somebody in either Kaká or giving off to Seedorf, boy. The reason that I am a big admirer of Gennaro Gattuso is that he did his job well.
Very well.
Yes, very well. Excellent. There are some players that want to do half of their job but
Nah.
want to improve on the weaker stuff before they do their job well. Do your job well first, and then the weaker part of your game improve on.
Yep.
But yeah, in terms of ideal midfield three, it can be tough. It might be it can be tough. I honestly would, and I mean, like, based on today's performance, yeah, you could say Bruno, right? But for some reason, it tough. It real tough.
It is.
Casemiro, man, the match performance today. If I had to be, if I had an ideal midfield, if I give it Kobe Manu rest, similar to how the midfield three at Real Madrid were deployed, where it was 2 8s and a 6, I would possibly move Casemiro to the 8, possibly put Christian Eriksen at 8 as well, and then put Ugarte behind those two, right? But that's just me, though. That's just me.
Yeah. Simeon, where's your ideal midfield?
I mean, we have a number 7 who ain't really played yet, so we can't really, say.
Bun that guy, boy.
That
That he is done.
Ericsson might be done after this season. So
Yeah.
I mean, like we got half a season of Ericsson. I mean, the thing is, like, if Casemiro plays like this, I mean, that's our most highly paid group, right? You got this, what, 60? Casemiro's how much? And you have Bruno.
I think it was 70 we pay for Casemiro.
And you have Bruno making how much money a week? And that today was what you expect from them to be doing, and like that is what you pay for.
Yep.
I don't know why Eric Ten Hag didn't play Ugarte more, talk about the system and stuff. But what we see today is what you expect for the money you're paying, and then for the real, that's what you expect from a United midfield. I mean, what concerns me is the opposition. Like, can it do this against the opposition? But the class that I've seen from Casemiro, I mean, class is, legs might go, but class is permanent. I think, Casemiro in a role could do well. Ugarte has shown he could do it at PSG. He has that motor and stuff. Bruno is who I'm worried about, really. I see the man drew a pass a goalkeeper today. I was like, okay, but you won't see him draw a pass, a regular player in any other game. It's like, I don't know what I get from Bruno game after game. Against big teams, I keep saying it. You don't get this Bruno. You get the other Bruno who missed, like, free headers. So yeah, I mean, right now on paper, last resort, this tree looks good, but the question mark remains is how we're going to use Bruno in the future, and can he deliver the kind of performance they and Portugal they see? Because if our forwards are as they are, you're going to need the midfield scoring as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think what made the midfield so effective is that everybody was on it today. So for this midfield to really work, everybody had to be on it. Bruno had to be on top of his game. He had to be composed and level-headed as he was today, I thought. For the most part. He had some wayward passes, but for the most part, Bruno, it's like he had his head on. Right?
Yeah,
Casemiro was being, ever present. And Ugarte was contributing as well defensively, and he was also pressing, winning back the ball, being an annoyance. So I'm saying, and even in possession, he was decent. I mean, he's not the best. He's not, what I was looking for in a number 6. I was always in favor of the more playmaker type 6. But I mean, from what I saw today, it fits the need. So I'm saying, but I mean, the points you can make is very, very important. How will this team look against Chelsea? How will that midfield look against a Chelsea? How will that midfield will look against a Tottenham Hotspur? And this is what I think, has to be proven. But I don't think any of the games we played this season, our midfield looked that solid. Yes, against other teams, with Ericsson in the mix and Kobe, you get a little more quality in terms of more retention and doing stuff, but in terms of maintaining a kind of structure, and being solid. I think, seeing Casemiro Ugarte was encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get some comments here. I see Richard on the inside. Thanks for joining me. He's saying I waited 3 seasons before I take chain up from this team.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Lynch is saying here, where was this killer instinct been for the season? And that's why you're going back and saying here, them fellas wicked and bad, right? We scored 5 and looked like we wanted more right down to the 90th minute. For real. Right? Kurt on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. Saying Leicester could get a bag more than 5 today, but Rude looked the part today. Right? He also saying here, when Ahmad came on, man had Leicester more busy than I think Ahmad really came on and did a lot more than what Rashford was doing.
Yes, he did.
Ahmad really, really looked good.
But in Rashford's defense, man, I keep saying, like, we all know this, Rashford come good this season on the left-hand side. I look good, decent on the left side. But he got fired with Garnacho, and you put him on that right. Rashford, sour boy. You see it on his face, he's still sour. He can't play inside. I mean, Ahmad is Ahmad, that right side is Ahmad's side.
Yep.
Yeah, I expect that from Ahmad. You gotta put Rashford out there to embarrass himself, play him in minutes, then come off.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, had Ahmad scored that bicycle kick,
Listen.
repeat. On repeat. On repeat. Cause right now, Bruno's goal for the 5-2 is going to be on repeat for the next couple of days, and I will have to not go on social media. But had Ahmad that bicycle kick scored,
But Phil, look how easy Bruno do that. You ever see Bruno in all them games he play? You ever see him be so? He be getting for the goal. He be do all kind of rubbish,
hitting it with the outside of his foot. All this dotage. That keeper take that drag like one baddest. I said, but watch this keeper supposed to be on Maureen Street. Watch how you take that now, boy.
Ahmad, yeah, I look decent. I look real good.
That did deserve a goal.
Yeah, agreed. Good saying here. I was glad Ahmad got a few minutes. The youth had Leicester scampering with his cameo today. Yeah, Ahmad was good, man. Ahmad was good.
I hope Ahmad starts weekend. I really do.
Leslie on the inside, thanks for joining. Saying, where's the scene with y'all deleting posts?
Deleting posts? What do you mean?
You might have to let me know what's going on there. Kind too aware how familiar we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just say here, did you guys see Bruno's reaction when Leicester City scored their first goal?
Yeah, I did.
I saw his
reaction. He behaves like a petulant child.
Yeah, I did.
Bruno is the type of person when Bruno do something wrong, he don't seem to be, accountable. But if anybody else, he don't
Yeah.
ready to throw his hand and gesticulate and all kind of thing.
He remind me of Anthony, boy. When Anthony do something wrong, he's look at the other players like,
I think all football teams have one of those. We are one named Joey on the Fat Match team.
oh boy.
That man, just a quick thing. That man do something last week, cause in one of we games, we got a penalty. So as the manager, the team, and I actually was on the field at the time. So I said, Joey, kick the penalty. Joey walk up to the ball and kick it wide on purpose. So everybody watch me now. You tell Joey to kick that ball wide? I say, how the F I go tell him to kick the ball wide? When you ask him, Joey, where's that one? Nah, them fellas was the next team was quarreling and find it shouldn't be a penalty.
And a mad thing is that way.
Dan, but I flip out because you had to be a madman. We got next penalty. You pick up the ball to go and kick it. I'm off the field and I ball. Give somebody else the ball to kick that penalty. I say you had to be mad.
Yeah, you can't take that penalty. He mad.
So I say all that to say, yeah, all teams have one of those.
Yeah. So our next thing, right, fellas? Now, Rude went with Xerxes, right? What are they made of Xerxes' performance? Because, well, I will give my thoughts after, but he struggled, I find, for a bit of the game, right?
He did,
but he lasts long, and I think if he didn't ask to come off, I think he'd have played the whole game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All you know, I have been especially hard on him. But I would say today he wasn't bad. But he did struggle at times to be out of the game. It felt at times like the game was passing him by. But today he was not bad. I will say that when he did his brief moments, he did try to get into the game a bit more. I don't know. I still not convinced at all, but I would say the youth wasn't bad today. We can't send him to play with the under 21s. Just to catch himself a bit now. I guess he ain't paying all that money for a man to send him to play with the under 21s.
No, that go affect about confidence too. How you can send him down to play with the under 21s? Wait trying to tell the man. What you saying, Phil? Wait thought about Xerxes today.
Yeah, just to echo what Chef said, he wasn't uprooting any trees today, but there's times he struggled, there was times he was trying, and for some reason, like after the first game versus Fulham when he scored, I thought he would have kicked off from them, but it just seemed like not to have worked out so far, right? I don't want to jinx it, but I mean it's almost confirmed that Ruben Amorim will be the new United coach, and he's bringing either 2 or 3 of his coaching staff with him, right? You have to sit down and coach the likes of Rasmus and Xerxes.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if Xerxes can model his game off of, I can say Harry Kane, because Harry Kane likes to drop back for the football, and Xerxes does the exact same thing as well too, right? I think Xerxes will be a prolific forward in the future if you can model his game off of Harry Kane. Could be Wayne Rooney as well. You do have to look at Harry Kane. Ruud Van Nistelrooy played with Wayne Rooney, and you can model your game off of Wayne Rooney in terms of dropping back and being energetic, but the finishing and Rude put in there as well, boy, you could be one of the top strikers in the world, top forwards in the world, right? But right now, boy, I don't know, boy. I haven't written him off as yet. I want to see what he can do under the new coach. Whatever he does under Rude, it is what it is. But I want to see what he can do under the new coach, right? Sometimes you just tell yourself there are glimpses of like what a player's potential can be. I haven't seen much of those glimpses from Xerxes. I don't want to see more of those glimpses under the new coach. And that's what I would say.
I don't know if Simeon want to jump in on this.
I mean, watching his play, like his playing style and his from his previous, club, like I think there's a talent there. I mean, I still believe the fellow could be a great, player. For us, I don't know. I think the biggest issue we have right with him is that you have he bought Rasmus 1 year before, and Rasmus is not a complete striker too. See, it's hard to have two strikers working on their craft and be a top team in the Premiership. That's the biggest issue because you can't have you need somebody scoring right now, and Xerxes gonna need some time. Hopefully by the end, like Rasmus last year, hopefully by the end of the year, in the season he picks up. But he has to show something because we can't go into next season with just those two. Nope. And even more pressing is we have strikers coming up from the youth system coming up. We have people coming up, in a few years.
Too.
Yeah, so you have Weekly there trying to find his way. Like I'm sure the striker from Porto might want to come. I mean, the issue is not his. I mean, it's just time.
What striker from Porto?
What's that?
Which striker from Porto?
Yeah, I forgot his name, but they say he scored a lot of goals this season.
You mean Sporting Lisbon? You mean Victor Gyökeres?
Yeah. But I just feel like
you all watch highlights of him play.
I haven't seen much of him. I just know he got
a lot of goals. Oh yeah.
The only reason why is because I'm looking into the new manager and things. I wanted to see how Sporting that guy is very mobile. Exactly what you're talking about.
Here's the thing: if after the end of this season, as Xerxes does not live up to expectations, do we send Xerxes on loan and get this Victor Gyökeres fella from Sporting Lisbon? Because at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim knows this guy. So
as long as he ain't going to give you a 10 half bringing $1 million on one of your former players, I don't have a problem with that manager bringing up a couple of players, especially when it's players who have been very prolific and who the team he goes to truly need. Like we need a center forward in the worst way. So I can adjust as long as it's not at 10 half Ajax killing me vibes.
I thought today, Xerxes for the first half was probably the worst player on the pitch.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of unfortunate that when your team on top, and I know, and to extent I agree that with Sheffin that we wasn't like prolific in the first half, but I think we commanded a lot, and all his passes were going wayward. He wasn't holding on to the ball. He was slow. He was losing every second ball where a player of his size, they would expect that he would win that duel. He was losing everything.
He's forcing it too much.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I've been honest with you. It was this bad, and I know how nothing against Zooks. I like that profiler player, right? But I was surprised when Xerxes came out in the second half.
Me too.
Right? But what I saw that happened is as the game went on and Hoyland came on, so it kind of took some pressure off Xerxes having to do it because the boy do real work today. He real runner. That man run. I was telling JP, I sure this fella never run as much in the whole career.
Says Xerxes.
Yeah. Than he runs since he reached Man United.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So the role of the striker in a Manchester United team requires more grafting than actual ball work. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at where he play and the kind of player he said he is at 9.5, he looking at more, link play, 1-2s, move and go. Because when there were the little 1-2s in the game, that's when he was looking good. But as long as they have him at that point, man, having to run, to
That's
press the
nothing.
keeper, by the time he get a ball, he foot on heavy.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's
he's
nothing.
a big dude. So when I noticed Xerxes' game started to improve when Hoyland came on. And this is something that I wanted to kind of commend Nistelrooy on, because that was never going to happen with Ten Hag. Ten Hag was never going to have two strikers on the field. You know what I'm saying? And when Hoyland came on, Hoyland was doing a lot of the grafting, and Xerxes was now being able to drop and feel the ball on the foot a lot more.
Yeah, he was connecting it.
Yeah, and that's when Xerxes started to look good.
Yeah.
But for me, that was a little too late, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, when we wanted it to really say something and take advantage of an opportunity, you only start to really, link play and look nice when your legs gone, because after a while he had to call for a sub. And, the game was done there, and, everybody looking to try to get on the score sheet, and so he looked okay, but I'm not seeing where we could say we could rely on Xerxes to be the main man up top. Yeah. I think he needs to play with a striker. And if we're not going to do that, then we will never see the best of Xerxes in this team. Let me just get some comments here. Lynch is saying here, not bad. His work rate is good. Garnacho doesn't feed him. And Garnacho's our next selfish. Watch me. All years. Garnacho's selfish. Bad enough.
Dog. Get through the comments and then we go talk about this man, boy. Oh my God, no, boy.
Yeah. David Dennis on the inside. Thanks for joining. To say we must give Xerxes time to settle. All right.
Swear we see the team. Let's give players time to settle. Yeah. Every other team, men just come running.
Lynch is saying here, problem with Xerxes is that he had to get a touch. He has to get a touch often. But when he comes too deep to get a touch, to back into the attack, to be the point of the spear, it's not happening. Yeah, and I mean, I noticed that too. The man does do real running, and sometimes he don't get the ball. And anyway,
you could see certain points there when he was frustrated.
Yeah, he was frustrated.
The man was, because he was making the runs. There was a couple of break. You all know, again, all of us play football here. From small, a coach always talk to you about running with your head down.
Yep.
How Garnacho become an international footballer, still running with your head down? That man don't lift that head to make that pass at all,
Tall boy, oh God, boy. And so you like to shoot, eh?
Jesus. And he shoot, Boy, just make the extra. Dan, it had at least 3 chances. If Garnacho had made that extra pass, it was a simple tapping.
Yeah. Lynch asking a question here. He's saying, what you guys think gonna happen to Rude?
The rumor is Ruben Amorim supposed to land in Manchester United, I think, after 3 games, which is 1 game in the Champions League and then 2 domestic games in Portugal. So it's supposed to be around November 10th or later than that. Apparently, Rude will then resume as assistant manager. Apparently,
they said he's bringing like 3 of his.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of his people.
3 is 3.
His people. I hope I know it doesn't often happen that way, but I hope Rude is kept. Because I want to. Who brought Rude there? Was it the management or was it
It was Ten Hag.
Ten Hag? Ten Hag wanted him. See what I mean?
I think he wouldn't if Amorim come in and Amorim bringing his own backroom staff.
Yeah.
I don't think
he will stay.
He'll stay because he wouldn't get the same position. You know.
So then what Rude's supposed to do then?
Well, move on.
He'll get work.
Right.
He's one of the new up and coming coaches. Teams watching.
He is.
Yeah. And if as Waffle's saying just now, if Rude have 4 games, in charge of United and he do good over the 4 games, then he's shopping himself, man.
Yep.
Kurt saying here, say what about Jay-Z, but he is a lot more contributing than Anthony. Although Anthony's a non-issue right now, and that's not good. If a man comparing you to Anthony, that is not really a
let me talk about somebody else now. Dan, Anthony and Richarlison had to be 2 of the shittiest Brazilians ever,
Yeah.
God, boy.
Lynch is saying here, at a time, if I remember correctly, we had 4 strikers, Cole, York, Ollie, and Teddy.
Yeah.
So we definitely can't go into another season with just 2 strikers. Now, my thing with this, right, Lynch, back then, the system was a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Right now, you don't really play 2 strikers.
Yeah.
So having 4 strikers on the bench when you're playing a 1 striker system.
A 1 striker rotation.
It might be overkill. It might be overkill. So.
But we need 2 shots. We need to have 2 center forwards.
Yeah. And Zirkzee is not a striker.
Nah, he ain't. At least not so far.
Yeah. Doing on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, good night, doing, man.
Yeah. So, guys, the floor open as we looking to wrap it up. Any other talking points that I want to bring to the fore before we wrap it on today's game? Even looking forward, because I think we draw Spurs. Unless some Giants fall today.
Yeah.
So Chelsea get knocked out from the cup by Newcastle.
Man City gone.
Man City gone. Aston Villa gone.
City try one smart thing today. City tried to play the kids and with a couple of senior men in between. But Spurs come out for them today.
Yeah, Spurs wasn't playing. Spurs wasn't taking no chances.
Nope, Spurs come out.
This Spurs' best chance at winning a trophy,
Not only that. Remember, Postecoglou under pressure. His team lost weekend, so he had to try to look for wins where he could get.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play. He went on with a heavily rotated squad today against City.
I didn't realize Son injured.
Yeah. Aaron on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. Dwayne saying here we finally score from a free kick. I wouldn't even consider that a free kick now. That was a heavy deflection, Dwayne.
That is what you call a heavy deflection.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that Carabao Cup, like Chelsea. I had Chelsea win the whole Carabao Cup, man. They had 3 squads, but Chelsea Brentford, the B-side defense wasn't good. I was like, what B-side? You guys blow up B-side. You have A1 side, A2 side, you have no B-side.
Or B-side. Them are no B-side.
Correct.
We're not hoping, yeah.
Yeah, could say here, well, boy, if this youth Chiro progress, he should. Rasmus better watch out for Zirkzee. I don't want to rush the youth man, Let the youth man take his time.
Which one? You want from Arsenal?
Yeah, who come from Arsenal? Look, he played his first under 21 game, and I mean, he already scored nothing, So let the youth man develop again.
Take your time and progress.
Yeah, something else going to talk about, the substitutions by Nistelrooy today. It's almost as though, and the frightening thing is we used to say the same thing about Ten Hag in the earlies. it's almost as though, and I remember we made the statement, it's almost as though Ten Hag is a fan because the substitute he make the right subs, and that's why I see the same thing Rude do today.
Yeah.
You know, Rude was thinking about his players. He said, well, okay, I want to play two up top, and even when Xerxes came off, he could have bring on a midfielder, he could have bring on a defender, he bring on a next striker.
Yep.
And he gave minutes to Wheatley.
Weekly.
Right? He took off
I
Rashford and
real
brought on
commend
Ahmad.
that.
Yeah, he took off
I
Rashford.
real
Brought on Ahmad.
commend that.
He take off Garnacho, put Bruno right to play the two in the middle. You understand? He take off Lindelof and he took off this guy Martinez, put on Mazwari. He take off Delit, put on Evans. So the kind of changes he was making was
a thinking coach.
Yeah. You know, and he didn't stick one track. He went from a 4-2-3-1, and when he makes subs, it was a 4-4-2, a 4-2-4. That kind of way, because you played two strikers for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these are things that we never saw under the previous manager.
Wasn't willing to try at all.
Yeah. So I was real pleased with the way he made those substitutions, and I guess it's easy to make them kind of subs when you're leading 5, but when you have a 3-goal lead on a team, eh?
Exactly.
But not only that too, it's the time when he made the substitutions. He didn't wait till the dregs to give a man a sweat.
Yeah.
In his 60-something, you make your substitutions and you give a man time to acclimatize and you keep the pressure on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, but you could do that if you up, that score. If your striker is actually scoring goals, you could do more more subs and more, do more with the team if you're up, but we hardly ever, the fellas never ever had the kind of accuracy you see today, so yeah, Ten should have done better with the subs, but at the same time, if the fellas ain't, wasting,
you're keeping teams in. You ain't giving nobody opportunity behind you.
Yeah, so let me look ahead to Chelsea on Sunday, guys. Now, does this performance today, give you any kind of hope going into that game? Because I telling you, before today, and I thinking about Chelsea, I thinking about, oh God, that's gonna be a long day, right? But after you see this kind of performance, the result, together with the fact that Chelsea, go feel a little hurt. And I don't know how that could go. That could go up or down.
But I'm feeling hurt for.
They get knocked out.
Oh.
So how will they feel about the Chelsea game? How much are the team are going to change? Phil?
Boy, don't get me wrong. Chelsea is one of the most informed teams in the Prem right now. We are not, right? Does the performance today give you a little bit of confidence? Yes, it does, right? But as I said earlier in the podcast, these men could be playing well and disciplined one day and then revert to playing shit the next time, right? So I'll be honest with you, Reem. I do not know how to feel. Maybe I can piggyback off of what Chef and Simeon are about to say, but I literally do not know how to feel. So that's just me.
But I know when I'm piggyback on you. There's what call me negative Nancy, but the team ain't do nothing yet for me to change my mind on them.
Exactly.
So I just don't want to get embarrassed. That might be too much to ask.
How will you do after the game, the Barnsley game? Or I can't remember the result after the Barnsley game.
I think did we win? One?
Was it 0-0 versus Aston Villa?
Was 0-0.
No, after the Barnsley game. Barnsley is who we beat 5-0 or something.
7-0.
7-7.
We draw 0-0. Yeah, we draw 0-0 with Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We struggled to score after that game.
But we played good that game, Chef. We played good against Crystal Palace. So we
wasn't bad. And we were a lot better than I thought we would have been, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue with Chelsea is they have All right, two players, but a lot of players. They have, that Cole Palmer. We can play good
Yes.
football. And we fall asleep all the time. We like
Yes.
jump goals.
And you know we like to fall asleep.
Cole Palmer will punish you.
And you know we like to fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. And even Jackson, like we used to laugh at Jackson.
Jackson in form right now.
And that man scoring goals. Like that's my
Ale.
issue, man. If we play a good game, they can still either tie us or beat us. So I mean, we have to score. We have to score, but we have to be on defense, especially. We have to be on 100%, and we don't
For
do that.
90 plus minutes.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Because Palmer don't stop.
This game on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It's Sancho there. Sancho available.
Nah, no, he can't.
But
He on
Sancho
loan.
can't play us.
He on
Sancho on loan.
Yeah.
Even if Sancho could have played us, apparently he's ill. So
No, but you see, and I mean, I just want to jump on something Simeon
That
said,
is
right?
to get dropped.
It's just something Simeon said just now there. This team, we had to score. We had to outscore teams right now. Because we against a very poor Leicester team, we can see 2 goals today and there's 2 lapses.
Yeah.
Right. And against a Chelsea team, I don't see us scoring 5 goals so easy.
But
So
Chelsea
it's
will
either-
get the opportunities to
They
score.
will, but
They
I'm
will.
not sure you'll get 5 plus
Yeah, clear
good
cut.
chances. Yeah. So we have to really we can't afford them lapses, as Simeon was saying. We cannot afford them lapses if we had
Facts.
to even try to get a result against Chelsea on the weekend. We
Yeah.
have to show up that back, right? I don't think one of the 2 culprits, I don't think will play. One of the culprits who does always drop us is Lindelof, and I don't think he will play. The other one is Dalot. The other one is Dalot. Right?
Dalot will play. Dalot will play right back
definitely playing, but he is one who does drop us plenty.
on that wing. And Chelsea, a lot of Chelsea play is on the wings.
Wing play, correct. So, I mean, I too don't want to get carried away, but I still believe that this win, together with the fact that Ten Hag not there, so the fellas might feel a little bit of freedom and might want to play out the skin. I think it might work well for us. The confidence from a win like this, Casemiro scoring 2 goals, Bruno scoring 2 goals, Ugarte having a top performance, Garnacho on the score sheet again. I really think it'll help us, So,
Right.
I mean, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm going to put it like that. I'm not going into the game thinking as though, God, I win pressure, nah.
This damn team, man.
Nah. Dwayne saying here, I don't trust this team, right? I ain't blame you.
Doing boy, none of us do.
Kurt saying here, Bayern, they played the most games this season, at least one more than last year. Yeah. Casemiro, could I get a hat trick today? Yeah, he and Bruno. Anyway, guys, I think if there's nothing left to bring up, I think we have come to the end. A very good result.
Atkins win today too.
Serious.
Let me end the podcast quickly, boy.
Don't worry. Let me end it. Let me end it.
Let me end the podcast.
Tony Martial came from France. The media said he had no chance.
Levi played today with
50
him.
million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. The man get mad at the match, all kind of thing earlier.
Levi played with him today.
Now Levi wasn't in the squad. Levi was injured.
Levi still injured. Okay.
No. He played last 2 games, but he just wasn't there today. And I figure it's because he probably, Levi is an injury-prone player too, eh?
Yeah.
Levi always getting a knock something with Levi.
Imagine that Levi and Marcel in your team. Jesus.
Yeah, and Levi looking, but Levi looking good too, eh? Levi looking
Levi is
real
our
good.
boss.
Levi looking real good. And that is Perrot fella on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
All right, you can end it now. You can end it now. All right,
Tony look good
fanboy.
today.
All right,
Tony look real
fanboy.
good. He looked good. He looked good. I was pleased. Anyway. So Phil, Chef Simeon, those in the comments as always. We do appreciate. I mean, we had a full week this week. We had Sunday, Monday,
And it's only
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And then we could be here again on Sunday. So football for your money. So have a good night, fellas. And see you on the next one.
Mm-hmm.